Hey guys, what's going on? It's your raw meat defrosting heating appliance, Microwave. Welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It, where I talk about guides, tips, or problems within the games I am currently playing. And for today's video, we're going to talk about the buffs that Glaz received a few weeks ago in the game Rainbow Six Siege. So there's been a lot of controversy concerning Glaz and if his buffs are overpowered or required. A few months ago, I made a video talking about how Glaz wasn't really viable in his current state. This is, however, before they buffed his ass out completely. First, they removed a ton of recoil from his primary weapon, the OTS-03. This allowed him to keep his aim on point and was a nice buff since it made him a little bit more viable. Although it seemed that the devs weren't too happy with that change, so they gave him the ability to see through smoke, as well as the ability to see the enemies like they were spray painting that stuff that the ravers wear so that way they glow in the dark. But the question has been asked time and time again whenever I post a Glaz video, is the new buff overpowered, Microwave? And to put it simply, yeah guys, it's kinda broken. But what's the main problem? Is it his high hitting weapon damage plus low recoil? Or maybe it's the ability to see through smoke? Perhaps it's the banana operator skins that the defenders now wear for him. Well, after playing him a bunch and reading what the pros have to say about him, I honestly believe that the real problem lies with the fact that Glaz can see through smoke. Now I apologize for stretching out the gameplay footage here. Normally I like to run highlights of the operators that I talk about, but my last video was a Glaz highlight reel, so I'm kind of out of content at the moment for him. If you're interested in watching that, then you can find a link for the Diamond Glaz gameplay at the end of this video. Anyways, after running around with him a bit in the upper ranks against some of the pros, you begin to see how overpowered Glaz truly is. Far too many times did I find myself throwing a smoke out and everybody would vanish from the line of sight like ninjas. And this was all because they couldn't see Glaz at all, and he could see them. Now you combine that with somebody planting the diffuser or with the Montaigne, and you got yourself a broken ass strategy, guys. Now the pros have been using Glaz left and right. Previous to this buff, he had a very small pick rate and has since then jumped up to a whopping 67%. Holy shit, that's huge. Now this percentage could be way higher, but since Ubisoft drops incredible buffs during the Pro League season, and since the pros don't have time to fine tune a new strategy to accommodate Glaz, he isn't 99% picked. Now I want to talk about that, which I'll get into a little bit later. Anyways, it takes time to develop new strategies, and the fact that he has seen a 65% increase in usage is insane. If stats don't speak for themselves, then I ask you this question, guys. What do you believe the main point of Glaz is or was supposed to be? A sniper perhaps, like a long distance wall destructing hard hitting operator? Nah guys, he's literally a point man now. He can smoke off an entire entrance and clear a room without having to break a sweat. Now one may argue that this is the combination of both the thermal and smoke buff that ruins competitive play, but to be honest, the yellow highlighting is a crutch. It does give you a slight tactical advantage because it makes it easier to see the defenders, but it doesn't make it unfair. Even without the yellow highlighter buff, you could still see the enemy, so it doesn't make it overpowered. It just makes it easier visually to acquire the target, so again, it's a crutch. But when you throw in the fact that he's the only operator in the game that can see through smoke, which is client side might I add, you get an operator that cannot be contested, period. The only slight counter to buff is Echo because he can kind of see above the smoke with his yokai drone. Well, that and Jaeger if the ADS takes out the smoke, but most of the time in the higher rank gameplay you always have a Thatcher, so not really. A slight possible counter for Glaz could be Mira, but her gadget is situational against him, and it's nothing like a hard hitting counter like Hibana vs Mira. Now for some of you guys that don't know, Hibana can fire off one of her X-Kairos charges right below the Mira to take out a vaultable hole through a reinforced wall. Now that is a direct counter to Mira. I guess Twitch also counters Mira, but that requires you to pilot her drone carefully. Nowadays, some of the higher ranked players have opted in to run 9 smokes just to give Glaz the best tactical advantage possible, but it's really just overkill. If you're a smart Glaz player, then you can smoke off an entrance and hold that required angle with ease while your support players defuse the bomb. Normally the defenders are the ones that hold the tight angles as they wait for the attackers to push them, but with this buff, it flips the whole idea upside down completely. After Glaz acquires his angle, you're forced to overtake him via a flank or win a peek battle with him, which normally results in a loss. And all this happens because of one smoke grenade, guys. I mean, you can try to peek him while he's in stealth mode and get very lucky, but that isn't a sound way of doing things. You're pretty much basing your win off RNGs, which most FPS games kind of stay away from. Now, a user from Reddit named Slight Misanthro pointed out that back in the day, IQ could see through smokes via her Nintendo DS wrist strap, but it was quickly changed. I mean, it was kind of gimmicky because you had to use your pistol, and it required you to have one of your teammates smoke off the section because she didn't have any of those. But with this new buff, they literally blew the old way of thinking out the water. So what should be done about this, Microwave? What are you talking about? What do you think? Well, I truly believe that the smoke feature should be scrapped entirely, or at the very least remove smoke grenades from his loadout. The yellow highlighter can be a bit overpowered, especially when somebody is glowing behind a tiny peek hole, but it doesn't make him broken. I mean that the fact that the top players in the world shifted their strategies to accommodate Glaz, and his new buff shows that he's incredibly overpowered. Generally these strats are fine-tuned over hundreds of hours of scrimming, in which they can add slight variations, but at its core, it's the same strategy. But like I said before, this buff changed everything, like the C4 Montaigne buff. Now going back to what I mentioned earlier about the buffs during the mid-season reinforcement patch, I wanted to talk about how insane this thought process really is. Not only does it change the meta, but it destroys hundreds if not thousands of hours of hard work that the pros put into the game via scrims. Having to change everything up because they buffed one operator so that way he can see through smokes after you feel that your strats are down pat must be heartbreaking. It's kind of like going back to the drawing board after you've already engineered and built the car, only to have to scrap it because a new law came out. Now you may argue that it's their job to essentially understand and define the meta, especially when new buffs and operators come out, and I cannot disagree with this logic. But my main concern is that Ubisoft drops these mid-season reinforcement patches during the beginning and the mid-seasons of the Pro League. So again, the teams are forced to go back to the drawing board. Now I too want updates and patches faster, but the balancing and operator revisions should be implemented after the Pro League finals have finished. I really find it bothersome that they change it while the Pro League is ongoing, but I don't know, what do you guys think on this matter? Anyways, in keeping in line with some of my other Let's Talk About It videos, I wanted to end with some of the tips that'll make you a better Glaz player. Number one is really simple. All you gotta do is log in. Now for number two, all you gotta do is wait for 20 minutes to find a game. Number three, you should pick Glaz and hold shift and W and run toward the objective. And finally, all you gotta do is pop a smoke and ace the whole damn team. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like if you guys enjoyed this, and if not, then let me know what I can do to improve the series in the comments below. I've been streaming a lot lately on Twitch, so come by to say hello or call me names while watching me fail. I generally play around 9 PM to midnight Pacific time, so if you're one of those night owls, then come and check me out. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. I will see you guys next time.
Bro, main hall.
Damn it! I almost made it.
Last operator standing.
Got one.
Wide open hall.
I got him. He's gonna be.
I think they're both in that site. They're both in that site.
The diffuser. Bomb has been located.
Uh-oh.
One on four remaining.
Great bait, mate.
10 seconds remaining.
You got it, you got it.
5 seconds left.
Woo! Let's fucking go, boy! Let's fucking go, boy! Let's fucking go!
Insane! You are insane!
That's what I'm talking about, baby.